Okay, so have warp course tabs, we have extra scanning, attack 1 data and relic analyzer, and a salvager. God knows why. So let's reorganize this a bit. Oh, we have drones. So let's start scanning. Deploy the drones here. You could also press B. Now we have to move them around a bit. You can click on the site to center your camera on it. Then you have to center your drones, your probes, so that the area where the drones intersect, the probes intersect, covers the sphere of the site. Now we click to analyze. And now the sphere turned into a circle. This means that the site is somewhere on this spot. And what I do is I hold the Alt key and use the scroll wheel to move the probes closer or further away. And you could also control this from the gizmo here. And I press B to analyze, useful shortcut. And V is D-scan. So again we got this point, which is the best outcome. You see the other side became aligned because we couldn't land our probes so that we get a good signal. So this line means that the other side could be here or here, but as a general rule, if you get the line, the real one is always the one that's further away from your probes. So we'll try scanning down here, and we should get no result after we're done with this one. And this is a wormhole. Unfortunately, we're not interested in wormholes. We'll just prove that the site is not here. We should get no signal at this point. And yes, we get nothing. And if we move it to this location, which is the one that was further away when we got this kind of result, expand it a little, we should get a result. And another thing is that the sites always spawn close to orbital bodies, so you can kind of tell that the site should be somewhere between this point and this planet. Oh yeah, so it moved on top of the planet itself. So if you're not sure, you can place your probes between the nearest orbital body and the signal you get. I just keep reducing the probe size. Each time we'll get a stronger signal. Now, another thing about scanning is I always have it either horizontal or completely top down. Because if you try to move the gizmo when you're looking at it from a weird direction, it's gonna end up somewhere where you don't expect it to be. You could use these for side view and top view, but I just turn the camera around manually. So I set it to side view, I move it, and then I move it from the top. It should be exactly in the middle. And this is a combat site. So we'll have to skip this one as well. Scanned it down, but we'll ignore it. And we'll ignore the wormhole as well. So now, when I wanna go to a different system, what I do is I click the gate, I press Shift and C, so I look at it, I hover over it, and I get a list of all of the tacticals. So I just choose one, warp to it. And this is a lot easier than looking at your people and places and just a whole mess of text. Okay, we're also looking at loco. Loco is completely blue, so it should be fine to go to YHN. Here we have 3. I have already scanned down 2 of them, and I know that R, X, J and SPE are gas sites, so I ignore those. I'm using a tool called Pilot's Little Helper. Loco is blue again. So what I'll do is I'll warp to a random celestial at 70. I'll reload my probes. Normally I have 16 probes, not 8, because when I launch one set, I want the other to automatically reload, so I don't have to waste time here. And when I enter a system, after I click on warp, which decloaks me, I click on launch, and it launches the probe, so I don't have to wait for the reload. So launching the probes. Use this scan to see what's going on. So we have an anatema. This could be somewhere in the site. And also don't forget to cloak up if you feel unsafe. Anatema also has probes out, which is good for us. It means that he's also scanning. He's probably not in the site. We could use D-scan to see if he's inside the site already, and then maybe save us some time. It looks like he's in the site, but we'll scan it down anyway. Pilot's Little Helper, the tool I'm using is basically an overlay. It sits on top of my Eve window, and that's why Shadowplay is not getting it, otherwise it's down here, and it just gives me a list of sites. And look at that, the site disappeared, which means the guy, the anatema, just finished it. Let's see if we can say hi. Yeah, and that's the empty cans. Okay, good. We can move to 3GD. Loco is blue, so I'm warping directly to the gate. But as you see again, I clicked Shift and C, locks your camera. It turns it from orbit camera into tracking camera. Oops, wrong button. No, what's going on? So anyway, with Shift C, your camera focuses on the object you've selected. So I could have selected one of those 2 tags. warp to instead of the gate itself. And we don't have any sites here. We'll go to 4M. Let's reload the probes. I would personally put ECM drones here instead of the acolytes, because we're not gonna be fighting anyone in this Heron. At least with the ECMs you have some kind of a chance to jam like on a stereo that's attacking you and then escape. Nothing here, local is blue, we'll warp directly to the gate. And this is a prototype, yeah, it's a T1 ship, so it's not going to be able to warp cloaked. Hopefully we don't get caught in any bubbles. We're not going to go through VTAC 3 because of this, where all the bubbles are for the gate cams. And this is the combat site, so I'm not gonna bother scanning it down. Scanned it before. Nothing here. The direction I'm going is to the left of GE. If you look at Dotlan, if you look at the catch map on Dotlan, it's leavemaps.dotlan.net/map/catch. Catch. And this is how you get the map for our region. And if you look at G there, I'm going to the left because I don't expect anyone to gank me here. My little Heron. See if we have any skins. Nope. So sad. Ooh. And this is a new site, so we'll scan it down, maybe it's a relic site. So normally when I choose a Celestial, I warp to one that is near the signature, and that way when I descan, it's gonna tell me if something is on the site. So this is gonna help me avoid fights I don't wanna take. I generally don't fight when I do exploration. I prefer to do just the exploration or just the fighting. But there's people who fly Asteros, T3Ds, Stratiuses even, and they do exploration, and if they see someone they will try to fight him as well. That's boring. So you see how the site is very close to the planet itself again. They're always close to one of the Celestials. And this is a relic site, we're actually kind of lucky. see if the Tech 1 relic analyzer is gonna cut it. I haven't used a Tech 1 in years actually. So this happens. Maybe you're missing the final percent of the site. Pretty sure I'm gonna get it anyway, but if this happens to you, you can see there's no going down lower than 0.25. But if you still get 98 point something percent or 97% even, what you can do is you can bring the probes closer together by holding the control key, and then you see you can either move them like this with the mouse or again with the arrow keys, and try to move them a little bit at a time. Make sure the gizmo is exactly on the site, then click scan, and then move them a little more if necessary. Don't go all the way into the site from the first go, just go step by step. Move them closer, scan, center the gizmo, and then scan again, and so on. And this, we got it obviously because we have good skills. My skills in scanning, I'll show you. If I can find the category. Yeah. Oh, there it is. So I have archaeology to 5, which is what we need for this site. I have acquisition, range finding, pinpointing to 4, and astrometrics, which is the main skill, to 5. And this means I can scan down anything, even in an unbonus ship, such as an interceptor that I normally use. And in the site we have several types of cans. We have ruins, remains, and rubble. And ruins are the hardest ones. They're the ones with the best loot usually. Then you have the remains, which are the medium class. And finally you have the rubble, which is the worst kind. So what I'll do is I'll orbit this at 4,000 meters with the prop mod off. And this way, if something comes into our site, we're 5,000 meters away. We should be in range. Actually, let's do 2,500 just to be sure. Because if we go out of range of our module while we're hacking, it's gonna cancel the minigame and fail the count for us. So we orbit at this distance. This way nothing can bump us, because when you're getting attacked in a site like this in a Heron, what's gonna happen is a Stratios or an Astero is gonna warp cloak to you. It's gonna try to bump you to stop you from aligning, and then it's gonna tackle you. And the reason why it's gonna try to bump you is because it has a targeting delay. After it decloaks, it's gonna be unable to target you for about 5 seconds, and this is true for all ships except stealth bombers. So that's why we're orbiting. If something comes into our site and decloaks, we're just gonna hit our cloak and warp away, and it's not gonna have time to do anything to us. So now we're starting the minigame. We're just opening the nodes one by one. We already get a utility system which restores our health. This is our health and this is our strength. So we hit for 25 damage when we hit one of these nodes, and we have 112 health left. And we see the node has 90 health left, and it does 20 damage to us after we hit it, if it survives. So we'll click it, destroy it carefully. We get another repair node. Now there's this thing called the rule of 6, which says that whenever you have 6 nodes around a single node, a single point, whenever all 6 are connected, the middle one is safe to click on, so it will never have a dangerous node on it. But there's one exception to it. when it has a dangerous node on it, that means that the power core that you're looking for is in one of the neighboring nodes. So we're gonna keep on trying to go through the safe nodes. And yes, we found the power core. So now I'm not sure if we can actually finish hacking it. Let's see. 65. It's gonna hit us for 10. No, we can't finish it just like this. We need a bonus. Oh, fuck's sake. This is bad. Oh, we got a shield. So we hit for 10, and the shield protects us from free attacks. So it's gonna give us just enough to finish the hack successfully. And now we need to get within range to loot the cam. And we get 60 million ISK. Yes, this is good. This is actually great ISK because of the interact armor plates. Let's see what we got exactly. Come on. Unpin. So we have our probes that we're gonna reload. We got 11 intact armor plates. Each one of these is worth 5 million ISK. Let's do the other one. 2,500. Let's say 2,000 meters. Try not to get ourselves out of range. And the numbers on the board, they're telling you how close a beneficial unit is. So they're telling you how close a bonus is. Oh no, we found the parkour already. We're just gonna nuke it. And let's just do the third ruin first. Wow, this looking speed. Just prop mod on, orbit. It should be 2,000 meters away. So the number 1 here means that in one of these nodes we have something beneficial to us. So like this thing, what this does is it halves the health of the subsystem you're fighting. But the beneficial thing could also be this thing. It's a data cache. So this could either be a bonus like this, or it could be a dangerous node, so we're not gonna open it unless we absolutely can't do anything else, and we're gonna fail the game. That's the only time you should open these. So we halved its health to 30, and we killed it. And we'll try to kill this one. And unfortunately the T1 module is absolutely terrible. Oh god. The problem with the T1 module is we can't fight anything on the board directly. And we blew it up. No. At least we got the good can. This could have been another good one, like it could have been another 50 to 100 million ISK, but whatever. We're gonna finish the site, we're not gonna just leave it. Look at the cool explosion. You should always finish your sites, because when you finish a site, within 20 minutes, within the same region, meaning cache, another site of the same kind will spawn. if you just leave the site sitting there with 1 or 2 cans left, it means that somebody else will have to come and finish it for you before it despawns. And you won't get a new site somewhere else. So that's why you should always finish your cans, even if you're like, if there's a strat op or something like that that you need to be there straight away, you can maybe leave it, but try not to. And especially if you're in the space of somebody else, like one of our blue people from Legacy, they'll be very annoyed if you leave sites unfinished. Basically because it reduces the respawn rate, and it's bad for everyone that's doing exploration. I got this, but I am not sure that we can finish it. Now, this basically heals you. It restores your virus coherence after you click somewhere, so each turn it restores 5. And now we should have enough, maybe. Okay, that's good. We got another 2 million ISK. And when we're done with the final can, I'll just show you how to maybe escape gank. What you have to do is you have to turn your cloak first, and within 5 seconds of turning your cloak on, you can still activate your micro warp drive. So always do the cloak first and then the micro warp drive, because the micro warp drive increases your signature and makes you easier to lock. And that way you turn on your cloak. If something decloaks next to you, you cloak up. Use the speed to get away, like they'll be trying to stay close to you to decloak you. But you use the speed boost, go get away, and then warp off. Don't worry about picking up loot from the can you just finished or anything like that. It's not gonna be worth it. In the long run, you're probably carrying much more than the can is going to contain anyway. So this is the final can. And these are much easier than the ones we were doing before. This is the rubble, and you see the core is green. Generally it's a lot easier to finish those. Okay, so now we have 60 million ISK with us. What I would do if I was really worried is I would just go dock in this station and come back in an interceptor and haul out the 70 million ISK. But I don't think anything super dangerous is going on right now, so we're just gonna hold it. Might even get an opportunity to try the cloak micro warp drive trick, which I don't personally use because I fly an interceptor, so I'm not an expert on this in any way. But I'll try it now. So if we're gonna do the trick, maybe we just arrange this like so. We're gonna press this, 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 and then warp. This should work. I don't think we did anything. Oh well. Why are you not warping? Oh right, this, Jesus, I'm stupid. This is a T1 frigate, it can't warp cloaked. Oh well. Oh, let's pretend we just escaped the gate camp by cloaking up and using the micro warp drive to sort of give ourselves a boost and be further away. So after we decloak, we can still warp away. And you can actually do this. You can cloak up and use the micro warp drive to boost in a direction so they don't run into you and decloak you. Like, imagine if it was somebody here. What you probably want to do is like go like this in some strange direction that's not anywhere. Maybe even change it up a little bit. And then if they miss your decloak, you can just coast off into space, and when you're 70 or 100 kilometers away, you can safely decloak and warp off. So, hopefully we're not gonna be destroyed when we enter G. It's also not a good idea to warp gate to gate. You should probably warp to a Celestial if you're not sure what's going on, but we're here in Brave Space, so I'm not worried about bubble camps so much. I'm not worried that I'm gonna get smart bombed, and that's the reason why I don't care to warp to Celestials. But what you could do is, instead of warping between the gates, pick a random point like one of these planets and warp to it here. Or even better if something's at a different angle. So when you warp to here to your destination gate, let's say this is V3, you're gonna be at an angle, so you're not gonna be caught by any bubbles going from this gate to this gate. And that's it. That's how you can make 70 million ISK in was it half an hour? Wait, standard exploration in a Tech 1 frigate.